One of my main interests is retro electronics that are small, portable and miniature, like my tiny TV collection here. I'm always on the lookout for something new and unusual to add to it, and this time I found something with a little extra to show you. Picked up from one of my favourite online markets. I bought it and it's just arrived. The seller said it was working in the description, so we'll take a look and check it out. Could have used a bit of bubble wrap, but it's looking promising so far, and it seems to have survived okay. Right, we have the Broksonic CIRT-2097 all-channel micro TV with a 2-inch CRT. As you can see, this has a built-in AM/FM radio. The little extra I mentioned earlier is that it has an additional shortwave band, 3.2 to 9.7 MHz. I noticed this in the listing, which is why I decided to buy it. The price was quite reasonable and an interesting thing to look at. On the side we have the radio band switch, shortwave, medium wave and FM. Below is for the different TV standards for UK, EC Europe and US destinations. The contrast and brightness here, right next to the charge switch and power input, with the headphone jack here. At the rear there's the antenna switch and the external aerial screw terminals. Back to the front are the radio tuning, the TV tuning and the power and volume. Here the TV radio selector and the TV tuner multi-band switch. So let's see if it works as advertised. I think we'll just try the radio first. Nothing so far. The batteries here came with the set and they're supposed to be okay. Looks like we've got some corrosion here. Let's clean it up and see if we can get a better contact. The battery terminal will need removing to make a proper job later. Just check the batteries with my vintage Taylor first. I got this multimeter from a local antiques market and it's almost like new. These are all good, so we'll pop them back in. I like the way that they go in the same direction. Okay, we'll try the FM radio first. Sounds like the volume control needs a good clean.
But it's what we have to study in fusion.
The FM is pretty good, although the sound quality is what you'd expect from a speaker in one of these.
Lower density, much longer confinement times, and the temperature's the same.
Alright, let's switch over to medium wave next.
Much longer time scales.
It's pretty poor these days, so I'm not expecting much. I don't think the fireback insulation in my roof is going to help. All we have is interference. Let's switch over to shortwave and see if it performs any better. Yeah, it's not great. The tuning is so coarse, even with good reception, it'd still be pretty much unusable. Maybe I'll try it outside later, there's too much interference in here. Okay, we'll move on to the best bit, the TV. The CRT's a bit sluggish warming up, but it looks like it's worth the wait. We need something with an RF output, so I'm just going to pop my favourite video test tape into the VCR. Clip the RF output lead onto the antenna. The TV tuning knob's making a funny noise, something I'll look into later. A bit scratchy. Anyway, it's looking really good, don't you think?
Thanks. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you too. I should have bundled up if you go outside. Oh, let me. Oh, I'll do that.
Okay, we'll swap over to the TV pattern generator to see if everything's straight and look at the grayscale. Yes, the checkerboard and grayscale look fine. Very pleased indeed. Back to the test tape for a moment. Now we'll move on to some comparisons because I noticed something strange with this set. Here we have the Unisonic XL990. This one still has its original faux leather case. It's almost identical to the Broksonic except without the shortwave band and a different colour of course. As you can see, the Unisonic was made in 1979 and the Broksonic in 1984. That's quite a difference. The Broksonic made in 1984 was quite late as newer technologies were already around at the time, like the Sony FD30 flat CRT and the Epson EP10, one of the first LCD TVs released in 1984. And even the Sony FD210 from 1982. The Broksonic and Unisonic were both made by Orion, a company known for producing budget consumer electronics such as TVs and VCRs, and released their own version, the TVR-7120. I don't know why there's over 4 years between these two. Maybe they were selling off old technology cheaply. There's another similar micro TV I'd like to show you. The JVC P100, also from 1979, is quite different but does share some similarities that I think the Orion models may have copied. The way the telescopic antenna is integrated into the top of the cabinet is one example. And the flip out stand is almost identical, which is quite interesting to see. The cases are similar in design, but obviously made by the same manufacturer. The screen bezels are the same size, though the JVC has slightly rounded corners. I've got the original screen hood that came with the JVC, so let's try it on the others. Starting with the JVC, you can see how the screen hood fits quite snugly. Moving on to the Unisonic, it's a bit looser but still a decent fit. And lastly, this is how it looks on the Broksonic. It's not a perfect fit, but I think it's too close to be a coincidence. Overall, the JVC P100 has a much more premium feel than the other two. The P100 has a removable battery pack which can be easily exchanged with a rechargeable one. With both the Unisonic and Broksonic, the rechargeable pack fits straight into the battery compartment using these two pins. JVC must have been proud of the P100 because it was on the front cover of its portable TV brochure. These other larger sets look great. The only other one I've got from this brochure is the 3050, which we'll take a look at another time. Comparing the flip-out stand, antenna layout, case design, bezel size and screen hood fit all suggest a shared design influence. Although there's no documented relationship between JVC and the makers of the Orion based sets at the time, the similarities are interesting. It's worth noting that Orion did go on to manufacture JVC branded TVs later, but there's no evidence that this relationship existed back in the 1980s. So which of these sets would you prefer to take on holiday? For me, I like the idea of the Broksonic having the built-in shortwave band, if it was better implemented. I used to take one of those little multiband radios on holiday before the internet, so having it integrated into a micro TV seemed like a good idea. Anyway, there are still quite a few of these little sets around at reasonable prices, and they don't take up much room, so it's not too late to start your collection. I've made a spot for the Broksonic, so let's add it to the shelf with the others. I think they look really good together. What do you think? As promised, I said we'd try it outside later. Let's see how the medium wave performs. Well, it's not too bad. It could be worse. And the shortwave. Don't hold your breath.
Была уже вполне пригодна для письма. Салон полагал, что «Т» должна заменить буквы.
Well, it's better than last time, but the tuning scale is awful. Now I know why they didn't put shortwave on many other micro TVs. We won't bother trying the FM because that was actually okay. I've left the pattern generator running, so let's see if we can pick up a TV signal from here. Nice, that's good. The signal's coming from my workshop up there. If you would like to download the manual and schematics, see the links in the description.